Oh, it's been said a bard's life can often be a hard life, or hill and dale to rove and always move from town to town. And some folk have inquired if ever we grow tired of ranging all around the world and never settling down.
But one should be a little wary of remaining stationary, 'cause comfortable is lovely, but it's not the way we grow. When life starts to unravel, pick up your pack and travel. You'll find a strange serenity in places you don't know. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-too-da-terry-o-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. You've got no map for showing which direction you are going.
But why start on a journey if you know where it will end?
And once you recognize,
to anticipate surprise, you'll relish every twist and turn that lies around the bend. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-too-da-terry-o-dee-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road.
the world has got its demons. There are many reasons why you'd find it harder to be brave than be afraid.
But every life could use some danger. Every friend was once a stranger. Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not why ships are made.
Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-too-da-terry-o-dee-da-dee. A fwit-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Adventures waiting further down the road.
Let's go!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Gothic Horror Gaming. I am your host, the Gloom Master, and tonight we are doing some horror role-playing games. For those of you who might not be familiar, this channel, Nat 21, usually has fantasy, Dungeons & Dragons 5e sort of games going on, but on Wednesday nights we get a little dark and a little gruesome. So a warning right away. This is, in fact, a horror game. There will be disturbing images. There will be creatures of common phobias. There will be violence and descriptions thereof. So consider yourselves warned. Also, I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors. First of all, we have Ren Adventures, renadventures.com. Be sure to check them out. We're having a tour coming up in New Orleans. It's going to be Dungeons and Dragons 5e in New Orleans, December 5th through the 9th. Come on down, play D&D while you're touring the city of New Orleans, and it all culminates in the end with a trip to the Louisiana Renaissance Fair, where many of the people you see on the Nat 21 channel actually will be performing. So sort of a backstage tour there. We'd also like to thank 3D2U, 3D2U.org. They make lovely 3D printed gaming supplements as well as wood-burned supplements. You can see there some dice towers, dice boxes, journals, all sorts of things at 3D2U.org. And a special congratulations to Amy Reeder of 3D2U. She just walked down the aisle, got her diploma in forensic sciences. So congratulations to her. And you can see them at the New Jersey Renaissance Fair this weekend if you happen to be in the Northeast. And I would be remiss if I did not plug myself and my lovely wife. Check us out. We have a book out called Dare. It's a collection of short fiction and poetry by Melissa Lee, my wife. She writes the stories and then I narrate them. So you can also get it as an audiobook on Audible. And please visit us at patreon.com/quill and quote. You actually have to put the /quill and quote to find us, as our material is considered rated R. So in order to be able to locate it, please type in the whole thing. A little bit about tonight's game. It is set in the Chill universe. The Chill universe is one in which the supernatural is very real, very dangerous, and usually very evil. So our players are existing in the world as we know it, but behind everything, there is that layer of the supernatural or the unknown. Our players are, in fact, members of an organization called SAVE that is trying to combat the unknown and stop incursions of it into our normal world. However, the rule system is over the edge or on the edge. I get them confused. One is a card game, one is a role-playing game. They're both set in the same universe. However, we are mainly using them for their rule system. The rule system is very simple. You have 3 traits. Anything you want to do, you roll against those traits a certain number of dice to see if you succeed. And what you would do is roll 6-sided dice. So if we have a cowboy, his primary trait might be cowboy. His side traits might be religious, very devoutly religious, and his other side trait might be amateur photographer. If he's going to jump a horse over an obstacle, he would roll 4d6, as that is his primary trait, add the numbers together, and attempt to hit a target number. If he's doing something that falls under his side traits, 3d6. For instance, taking a picture without it being blurry, as an amateur photographer. Or if it doesn't fall underneath anything, he would roll 2d6, trying to repair a steam engine, let us say. He would roll 2d6. Now, you at home can assist by spending your Twitch points with our good friend, Sir David Percival, over there in the comments section. Thank you. It is, in fact, over the edge, not on the edge. On the edge is the card game. So Sir David Percival over there, you can spend your Twitch points with him and get helps to give to our various players or to me as the game master. And this will enable them to essentially roll advantage with one of their dice. They will get to roll an extra die, but still only take the highest total number of dice that they would normally be allowed. For instance, our cowboy is jumping his horse over a fence. He spends a help. Instead of rolling 4d6, he would roll 5d6 and then pick the 4 highest. That's really as simple as the game gets. It's all about storytelling and less about actual rules. Now, our setting. The year is 1872. We are in San Francisco. Our players have previously encountered the unknown, combated it, survived, and have emigrated to San Francisco. Once there, about a year after their arrival, they have been approached by SAVE and its the face of SAVE, Gordon Pym, to investigate some disappearances. There have been several businessmen who have gone missing in San Francisco. One who has turned up dead and buried very quickly with no to do. They did some investigating, poking around, managed to find out some clues, including the fact that all of the disappeared businessmen apparently were in business together. They have a ship called the SS Sturgeon that makes trans-Pacific runs to China and Japan and back to San Francisco. They also all apparently at one time or another have been to the Japanese consulate, which is located in San Francisco. It is currently headed by Charles Wolcott Brooks. He is the interim head of the consulate until the Japanese government actually sends someone there. They have visited him and also learned from him that many of these gentlemen who are missing also went to the Japanese tea house, which is nearby, the Falling Lotus Tea House. From there, our players got a clue that the most recent missing, Nathaniel Bradbury, might have in fact gone off to an opium den called the Sleeping Dragon. It was located in the Barbary Coast district, which is the red light district of San Francisco. They followed up that lead, and then once they arrived, things happened at the opium den. But rather than tell you more myself, I am going to let them describe what they saw and what they are feeling about all of this. And we're going to start by bringing in Ada Monahan. Ada, please give us a little insight into who you are and what you're thinking about what just recently happened.
Well, I am Ada Monahan. I am not who you think I am most of the time. Take that as you will. I don't like spiders. I don't like spiders, especially when they bite me on the hand and it hurts and now it's necrotic. So that's what happened. We went to this opium den and found a dead guy with spiders. And I'm not happy about it.
I'm not happy at all. Also, there was Roland Hussey.
All right. So the only logical thing to do in that situation is to kill it with fire. And we did. So that I kind of hope it doesn't spread too far. But if it does, it is a price I think the people of San Francisco should be willing to pay for all of those creepy, evil spiders that bit me.
Ah, yes, you also were bitten. Mm. Indeed. And also present at the time was Jackson Weatherwax. Jackson, how are you feeling about all that has transpired? What are your thoughts?
I have gone to more locations today than I have in previous weeks combined. We've been sent around to track down people and gone to different places, and we have not been exactly as conspicuous as I would have liked. And I think we might have been set up to fail.
An interesting proposition.
We took everything at face value. Every single person that we talked to, we immediately just trusted them implicitly and were sent to the next place and found nothing but terror and confusion and exclusive clubs that I have not been invited to. So,
indeed. So
I have to ask,
yes.
Jackson, which part are you most upset about? The terror and the death-defying circumstances? Or are you sure it's not the clubs? Because that was the part you put the most emphasis on, sir.
It's called deflection.
Ah, very good.
I have other quarrels that I'm keeping until we are out of danger.
Mm.
Well, you have just recently exited the Barbary Coast District, much of which is ablaze behind you. Walk away as the flames lick the horizon and walk toward, I assume, where your hotel is?
I want to first off, I want to think that we are in slow motion as we are walking away from.
Oh, that goes without saying. Yes.
Oh, okay, great, delightful.
And so was every
It's a
explosion
Rammstein
behind
video.
us. Yeah.
Going
Right,
on.
right.
Well, that is mostly due to Roland's new opium hobby.
Uh-oh.
Listen, I'm not saying it's a hobby yet. I am saying that it was very nice, and we should all get together at an opium den that has less evil, murderous spiders in it.
Well, I don't know about you folks, but I would like to have my hand seen by a doctor.
Well, let me look at it real quick. I'm going to look at my leg too.
Yes, very good. You are, in fact, a former Navy corpsman.
Mm-hmm.
So you may, in fact, roll some first aid thereat.
Thank you very much. Full dice. Well, do I wish I had used a help. I rolled a 4.
This is beyond your scope. You're used to battlefield injuries. You are not accustomed to poisons, venoms, that sort of thing. If you had been shot with a mini ball on a battlefield, you might have been able to do something, probably amputate. That's the standard practice. But this, you're not sure of.
Maybe we should get to a hospital, like as you had said.
Yes, I believe you had recommended the St. Mary's Hospital that you had visited prior.
Yeah, they know us.
They do indeed.
And they're familiar with the desiccations. So,
Indeed. So you do, in fact, make your way to St. Mary's Hospital without much ado. And,
did we lose any more hit points on the way?
No, you seem to have stabilized. Although the wounds are nasty, and certainly there is a concern about them. You arrive, and Sister Philomena and Teresa are still there, and they recognize you. They see you come in. They greet you. How would you like to explain your injuries to them? Oh my goodness! What happened here?
Spider bite. It's a spider bite.
Evil spider bite.
That is quite significant. And oh my goodness, on you too, sir.
Yes.
Oh, come in. We must at the very least clean out the wounds and dress them.
Much obliged, sister. Thank you.
Do you need anything for the pain?
Whiskey. Served on the wall. That's what you do.
Normally, it is not the practice of the hospital to provide alcohol. However, she reaches underneath a cabinet and pulls out a bottle of whiskey.
Much obliged.
Pours you a glass. Looks at Ada.
Why not?
Pours you a glass as well. Looks at Jackson, who is uninjured.
I'm going to remain sober for just a little bit more time past, just to be on the safe side.
She puts the bottle back down again. They treat your wounds. They clean them out and bandage them. That's pretty much what they can do for you. Again, things seem to have stabilized. You're not losing any more hit points at the moment. So,
what was that?
Well, there was a dead man.
I assume you're discussing this in private.
Oh,
yes.
I'm hoping so. Yes, I'm sorry.
Very good.
A dead man, full of spiders, in the same room that Mr. Bradbury was in. I
Yeah.
saw it in the man's ledger.
Oh.
I don't know if that is actually the gentleman or not, and there's not really much we can do about it now. However,
Also, we might not want to go back to that neighborhood anytime soon.
I would be curious to see if our server from the Falling Lotus would be there tomorrow, if at all.
Be a charred husk.
No, the
No.
Falling Lotus is the tea house.
Oh, I'm sorry. I beg your pardon.
mayhaps. However, spiders? Where do they all come from? What kind? I've never been bitten by a spider that was this painful. Have
No.
you?
No, never.
Also, they were quite large. They were the size of a modern day 50-cent piece in body.
Ugh.
Leg span, give it the more than the hand's breadth of a large man's hand.
Did anyone get a good look at what they looked like?
It was very dark. I did step on one, but I imagine the relief on my shoe is long since passed after the.
You have, in fact, traveled a fair way since
Yes.
then.
Well,
I'm sorry, my entomology observations were not up to snuff in this particular case.
I know they were big.
I'm just trying to think if
thinking
any of
back-
you would have any sort of knowledge, even descriptions. Jackson, Ada, and Roland, you may each roll 3d6 in an attempt to recall details in that frantic moment about the spiders.
I'm going to use a help.
Me as well.
Oh, very nice.
That'll be a 14.
15.
12.
Piecing all of your knowledges together, what you can deduce from it is they weren't any sort of spider you've ever seen around here. They've got black and yellow banded legs. The main part of the body was relatively small, but then there was a long, elongated abdomen, which was yellow, green, and black.
I'm going to just throw this out there and see if it see what we all think of it. We were told that that Edmund Bagstock was very, they said, drained.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen what spiders do to flies in webs, right?
Are you thinking mass insanguination via spider?
This poor fellow had all the spiders inside of him, though.
I'm merely examining the facts.
Fair enough.
All right.
Well, regardless, I don't know about you gentlemen, but I'm exhausted.
Likewise, could use some shut-eye.
Very well. Keep in mind that you do have an account at the Nucleus Hotel.
Let us go back to the nucleus then.
So you do Are you going back? All three of you are going back together?
Might as well stay together, I think. Yeah.
Very well. You arrive at the hotel, and two rooms are easily arranged near to each other. And the night does pass uneventfully.
Hey, Jackson. Jackson, are you awake?
Ada, do you hear something?
I'm in the room 2 doors down. I can't hear anything.
Yes, that's where I am as well. He's in the solo room. What's it?
Jackson, you awake?
Yes. What is it? Yes.
Do you want to bunk up with me? I'm a little scared.
Fine.
Get out of my room.
All right, let go of my leg.
That's not me.
Oh, good heavens.
So the night passes uneventfully. Morning comes. Breakfast is served downstairs. The newspapers are abuzz about the fire that broke out in the Barbary Coast District. Apparently, about 4 buildings were destroyed before it was brought under control. Unknown number of people perished. Estimates are anywhere from 1 to 2 dozen. Including a family of 4.
Well, shit. We can't get bogged down in that right now.
People are dead.
I understand this, but we have a job to do.
It is our fault.
I understand this. There's nothing we can do about it.
We can go turn ourselves in.
By all means, go turn yourself in.
It is the right thing to do, man.
And to what point and purpose?
Those people didn't do anything to deserve death.
Yes, I agree. However,
And it is our fault their blood is on our hands.
yes. And
We owe it to their memories and to decency to pay for that.
then I will have to disagree on that point.
Jackson, while they are arguing the moralities of what has happened, your glance falls in the newspaper on a back page. There is a notice that does state the body of Dayton Tapley has been discovered.
Well, we can certainly, Roland, if your conscience does can bear it, we have more information that we should certainly suss out, so that whatever casualties that we may occur, we should be a mite more careful as we go further. Perhaps maybe now would be the best time as we go further in the investigation to refrain from any extracurricular activities.
Great.
Fair enough.
When this is over, I'm going to tell people what we've done.
Listen, as
We're
you
using
said,
that word "we"
the
very
only-
selectively.
All right,
Indeed.
fine. I threw the lantern. I'm the one that did it. But I didn't see either of you trying to
in the moment, it was the only thing that we could do to save our own lives.
Oh, so you agree it is we.
I was saving. Where is the? It said his body was found. Where was his body found?
His body was actually found um underneath a wharf on the docks. No further details are mentioned.
How long ago was he found? Do you know? Does it say?
It would appear that it was yesterday.
Hmm.
To the morgue.
To the morgue.
Let's go.
It's a very simple matter to get there, and there is, in fact, a person at the front. The morgue. Keep in mind, this is 1872. The morgue is very, very simple. It's basically a storage place for bodies until they are claimed. There's a young man who is there when you enter the building, sitting at a desk. Can I help you?
Yes, we're looking for the body of a Mr. Dayton Tapley.
Oh, are relatives?
Yes.
And the nature of your relationship to the deceased? He
I'm
pulls
his
out
cousin.
a book.
Mm. Can I read it backwards?
He's holding it like this, as if he's about to write in it and write your name. So, your relationship and your name, please.
Anna Tapley, his cousin.
And he's writing down Anna Tapley, cousin. Right.
Mhm.
City of origin?
Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. Oh, funny that your cousin's name was Dayton. How interesting.
Indeed.
Oh, well, I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we cannot release the body at this time until I verify your identity. Can I have an address, please?
We are staying at the hotel. What's the hotel that we're staying at? I see I was in from out of town.
I see.
The Paris?
The Palace?
The Palace, yes, the Palace. Excuse me.
Palace, very good. Room number?
212.
212, thank you. And gentlemen, your relationship to the deceased?
Oh, I'm her fiance, sir.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
Very good. Yes, sir. So I would assume you're staying at the hotel as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Room 213.
213, very good.
Oh, indeed. Yep. Adjoining.
And you, sir? Looks at Jackson.
I'm here for moral support. I was a business partner.
A business partner of Mr. Tapley? Very well. I can show you the deceased, but I cannot release his body as of yet.
We understand.
If you are feeling up to it, madam, you can follow me this way. He leads you back into a room. There is a body upon a sheet on a wooden table. And he says, "I'll give you a few moments alone. If you need anything, just knock on the door." And he closes the door behind you.
All right. I walk up to the deceased and I pull the sheet back.
The body is shrunken, desiccated. The skin has collapsed in upon the bones. You can see taut tendons throughout. His face is in a rictus scream. His mouth open. His eyes sunken and gone into his head. It seems dry and dusty. As you look closer, you see the faintest traces of spider silk over his body.
Looks like you were right, Mr. Weatherwax.
Ew.
Roland, give me a Corman roll, please.
14.
You determined that that there are many bites all over his body, like what you and Ada sustained.
Any bruising?
No bruising.
All right.
Just the bites.
Can I take out my penknife and make a small incision just to see if there's any blood? All right.
No blood comes out.
All right.
The tissue is hard and leathery, sucked of all moisture.
Does it look as though there are any places where, for example, like anything busted out of his skin, or is it just the bites?
No, it doesn't look like anything came out of him, and nor does this look like the previous one. In poking around the body, you notice that the bite marks, there is a larger one on his neck that is significantly larger than all the small ones.
What does it look like? Is it of the same shape and style, and just bigger? Or?
Mainly, give me another Corman roll, if you would, please.
I would like to take out a notebook and start drawing, sketching what these bites look like.
All right.
And
I'm sorry.
I say, I think you had made the comment that none of us are entomologists. Certainly in a city this size, we might find somebody who knows a thing or two about bugs in general. I think that might not be a terrible place to start, as though I do think that any other leads involving the other gentleman might be, say, compromised as evidence of what happened last night. Also, I might be a little bit safer for today.
Not a terrible idea, Mr. Weatherwax.
I agree.
Roland, what did you roll on your?
I rolled a 12 on that, sir.
A 12. There's some strange, almost like a waxy substance around the bite wound in spots. It's of a dark scarlet color. While you're examining, there is a knock at the door. The gentleman pokes his head back in and says, I'm terribly sorry, but this might be very fortuitous. There is a man of the cloth who is here to administer to the body. And in walks Henry Alberton.
Oh.
Henry.
Well, I certainly did not expect to find the three of you here.
Mr. Alberton.
This is, well.
I go over and shake your hand immediately.
It is a pleasure to see you as well, Mr. Hussey.
I'm
wish
next
it was
in line. I don't.
under better circumstances.
Good to see you. Good to see you. You're most welcome right now.
Indeed.
Gentlemen, madam.
Who called you?
I, as the other gentleman left.
Yes, he does leave and closes the door again.
I have been following some leads of my own, investigating some of the goings on with involving this gentleman, and finding the three of you here confirms that this is probably something very dark and bad, isn't it?
Spiders.
Oh.
Lots of spiders.
Oh, I see.
So you weren't recruited into this?
No. I've been, since landing in San Francisco, I've been, it's been rough for me a bit. Spent some time working at the docks and establishing a ministry, as well as doing manual labor. And a few of my coworkers have gone missing, and I went investigating what happened to them.
What are their names?
Took me to Chicago, as a matter of fact.
Chicago.
Yes, one of the Chinese dock workers, Lin Chao, was he vanished after working at the train yard, and his family contacted me, knowing that I was friends with him, and wanted to know if I could look into his disappearance, since the authorities weren't going to do anything about
No.
No.
a dock worker.
We are very glad to see you.
I tracked his movements I thought to Chicago, but he apparently never arrived, nor the package he was supposed to deliver there.
What was the package?
Some sort of artifacts, art that had been delivered to the Japanese consulate. It was then being sent on to a museum in Chicago, and he was last seen. My friend was last seen loading it onto the train, but never seen leaving the train. And then two other porters on the train were supposed to go to Chicago as well, but they never arrived. The package never arrived. There's, the authorities think theft, that they just stole the package and fled, but nothing else from the train was stolen, and it doesn't make sense. I knew Lin Chao well enough that he wouldn't do that. And leave his family.
Have I heard of any of these names, or even like any of these?
You can roll a business contacts roll.
They didn't stop in the Sierra Madres, did they?
I don't believe so. I was hesitant to get on a train myself, but
14.
I owed it to my friend.
Jackson, you have heard nothing about this, but then again, they are immigrant dock workers who no one is keeping track of them. The city has more than tripled in size in the past 10 years. No one is keeping track of anyone.
This was more along the lines of the things that the other things that I sell.
Nothing that you know of. Although you do remember that Charles Wolcott Brooks, the Japanese consulate, had mentioned that he had another artifact that he was sending on to Chicago.
That's right.
Something's not adding up here, obviously, but there are too many coincidences at this point.
Indeed. We get recruited to go in search of these disappeared businessmen. There is a connection of sorts to your friend, Mr. Alverton.
Yes, my understanding is that the artifact, the package, came in on the ship of these businessmen, the Sturgeon.
Yep. Well, I think we should probably try and track down that artifact.
And
If only we had gotten
forgive me,
on
this
to
is the first I'm seeing of this body. This is not normal, natural.
that. No.
But again, that's why you're here.
We've been on the path to find out more about the mysterious disappearance, and then later, the death of Edmund Bagstock, who was in business dealings with this gentleman here, and they've all gone missing.
All of them.
All of them.
Oh.
Well, what is our next step?
So, what do we know for certain? We know that we have 2 deaths. both in the same way. We're assuming
2, possibly 3.
2, possibly 3.
Well, Bagstock was desiccated.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. Whoever the poor soul was yesterday at the opium den
Was full of
full of spiders, very large necrotic spiders. And then this man is both desiccated, having spider-ish bites on him, as well as spider silk.
right.
So I'm thinking this potentially, Mr. Weatherwax, your supposition about the cause of death is accurate. That it was the spiders.
You said he was found underneath on a wharf, correct?
That is what the newspaper article said. Yes.
I'm wondering, where do spiders spider?
I want to find out more about spiders in general. Henry, working the docks, have you come across any nasty, creepy crawlies?
No. Other than the usual rats and unsavory characters. Literal rats,
Right.
of course.
Yes. I wish we knew someone who knew more about arachnids.
Bugs.
Well, why don't we follow your delightful suggestion and go see if we can find ourselves an expert?
Perhaps
Is
that's
there a university here?
university. Yeah.
Indeed. I'm getting the name of it now for you.
Would it be Berkeley?
I believe that Berkeley is. I know there is a university, and its name is currently eluding me. But let us call it Berkeley for sake of moving along.
Delightful.
As we're going there, and walking there, I'm talking to Roland and saying, I know that you are not your usual self. This has been with please. I'd like you to consider me your friend. Why are you making these choices?
Which choices?
Yesterday you did as much drinking as you did investigating.
Mm-hmm.
What are we running from?
What are any of us running from?
Our horrors. Is this how you're dealing with this?
Listen, everybody medicates in their own way. So you are running into the occult and the paranormal. So everyone has their ways of dealing.
You're actually going to the University of San Francisco.
All right.
For those who care.
Is there a central administration building?
It's only a few buildings at this point. It's not very large. It was founded in 1855. It's only recently, in the past 10 years, begun to award bachelor degrees. But it's essentially 3 buildings that are all right next to each other. There is the main office is located in one building. There is a receptionist there, a woman who looks up as you come in. Yes, may I assist you?
We were looking, madam, for your science building.
Oh, the science building is right next door. Walk out the door to the right.
And fantastic. And do you happen to know if there is a an arachnid expert there?
We do have a biology department.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much.
Yes, there's a. When you first go in, to go to the biology department, go in the front doors, make a right, and then make your first left.
Terrific. Thank you so very much. Very much obliged.
You're welcome.
Go out.
We follow those directions exactly.
Very well. You get to the biology department. There is a lecture has just let out, morning lecture. There's about a dozen students exiting, and yes, another location. There is, in fact, several students standing out, and there's a professor standing there at a lectern, and he sees you up here at the back of the classroom. He looks curiously at you, as if waiting for you to say something.
Might we trouble you for just a moment of your time, Professor?
I suppose I have a little bit of time. You're not students here.
No, we are.
Obviously.
Yes, with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Henry Alverton, man of the cloth.
Reverend. What can I do for you?
Well, my associates here, we're curious about spiders, species of spiders. We've seen a few recently in the area, and they don't seem to be native to San Francisco. And we were just wondering if we could figure out maybe where they came from. Making sure maybe.
I'm not
ship.
I'm not an expert on it, but on arachnids. But do you have a specimen with you?
I can describe the bites, and we can describe the spiders themselves. Would that be sufficient?
Bites, good heavens! Well, I certainly don't know anything about spider bites. But what does the spider look like?
Well, the main body is approximately the size of $50. With the legs extending out to about the size of a large man's hand. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the description I give is what the Blue Master gave us earlier.
Yellow bands around the legs and yellow stripes, yellow, green, and black, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, let me take a look here. I have. He goes over to a bookshelf and he pulls out a book on entomology, and it is watercolors of various animals, and he's flipping through, and he's going through, and he just chats with you, trying to gain a little bit more information as he flips through the book, and eventually he settles on a page. Says, "Perhaps does this resemble it?" And indeed, it is a black-legged spider with yellow bands, green and yellow and black on its body, with a little touch of red on the underside of the abdomen. It looks exactly like what you saw in the opium den. He said, although these say they only get to be about an inch or so long, with the legs included, this Joro spider.
Joro.
Please.
Joro. Interesting. Native to Japan, it seems.
Ah.
Oh. Cool.
Maybe warn a guy before you pop that up next time.
Horror game.
Fair. Fair.
Well,
yes,
that's
but
it.
Ours were, much
Big
bigger.
boys.
This would make sense that they're from Japan, I do think that the custom agents are letting this kind of thing slack We would not want. Thank you so much for your information. We want to make sure that no invasive species really takes up hold here. It would
Oh.
be absolutely dreadful.
Really? Well, I don't know. That might be beneficial. I mean, I have a friend who's bringing nutria to Louisiana. It's going to be very interesting.
That sounds like a great
What's
idea.
a nutria?
Oh, it's a large rodent.
We could always use more of those wherever in all times. Just loving large rodents. Thank God they don't have any natural predators. That would be just a mess. So they'll have a
Indeed.
wonderful time.
No,
Sure, they'll make
hope
good
they
pets.
Oh, well, I'm glad to have been of service to you. Is there anything else I can help you with?
What's the most effective way for dealing with their bites? Does it say?
Oh yes.
Not really. It's they're generally a peaceful species. There's not much indication that they are a threat to humans at all.
All right.
Well, just in general, how would one deal with spider bites in general?
Oh, I certainly don't know. I'm just a general biologist, to be honest. I'm quite frankly, I'm very lucky. I found your description here in the book.
We appreciate it greatly.
Indeed.
Very much so, sir. Thank you.
Oh, well, good luck on your spider hunt, I suppose.
Thank you.
One more quick question.
Yes.
Is there someone at this university that is familiar with, might be familiar with the cultural traditions that surround this spider at the university?
We don't really have anyone in charge of cultural studies of that nature. Your best bet would probably be to check in with Mr. Brooks over at the consulate, the Japanese consulate. He is very versed in Japanese folklore.
What about the art department? Is there an art department here? I have a niece.
Art department at a university?
Never mind. Let us go.
No. How curious.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
Much obliged. Thank you, sir.
Well, that was the spider, but not the spider.
No.
But he knew
Curious.
Mr. Brooks.
He did. Huh.
Henry,
Yes.
do you like tea?
Yes, certainly.
Oh, good. And Ada, Roland, we have been there. We know our server. Do you think we could maybe send Henry in just to see if that person is still there? Our server at the Falling Lotus.
Maybe. I mean, I don't
They
see what.
are. This person
Here's-
is.
This is my concern. We went there for tea, and without barely any much, she was very quick to tell us about the opium den. She was very quick to tell us, total strangers, about this place, and
To what end, do you think?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I just remembered something. Do you remember when we were escaping? I was trying to get people out of the opium den, and there was no one there.
Yeah.
That
is
is-
very
that is-
curious.
That was the impetus of this of my suspicions.
Do you
if
think
I-
it was a setup? Oh, you're just like,
I do now.
I must be losing my touch.
You think it was a trap?
I do.
And you think this server at the tea house sent you to that trap?
I think it is as good of a clue as any. We know a little bit more about the spider. We have someone here who has not interacted with this person who can go in and find out a little bit more.
Sounds good to me.
Why not?
I could talk to her.
You make your way to the Japanese tea house. It's a little after lunch when you arrive.
Now, we give a description of our server, and did she give a name?
No, she did not.
Hmm.
The only name she gave was the name of the woman who owns the place.
Which was
Madame Komoti.
Correct. Is there a restaurant around?
You could find one not terribly far away. There is a small hotel with a restaurant in the lobby, about a block
Delightful.
away from the tea house.
I say we wait there and send Henry to ask.
That's a great idea. Let's do it.
Indeed.
What would be the story? What he's his perhaps he's seeking his he has friends who he was expecting friends. They did not show up. He's asking. He's just going in local areas to see with the description of them. Probably not us, but someone a bit more generic looking. The unfortunate position I am suggesting is that he is searching for someone who might have perished in the fire.
Mr. Not Blueberry. That's not the right name.
Bradbury?
Bradbury. There we go.
I'm wary of using anyone's actual name. I think if there are a lot of people, unfortunately, who have passed on. If we use that to our advantage, as grim and morbid and macabre as it may be, it might provide us just a little bit more secrecy, which I think will do us a world of good.
I'm going to point out that it's a tea shop that is open for business. It's a serving establishment. There are various random individuals going in and out of it.
And what
Maybe
is
you
your
should just-
concern with going in?
If she's the one that sent us there on the trap, she finds out it doesn't work, the trap gets a little bit more aggressive.
That's fair.
Well, it also might encourage them to show their hand.
I was thinking the same thing. A different trap, one that we can control more.
Yeah. Indeed.
All right. Well, if we're setting up a trap, what is our trap?
Well, I think we should go have lunch first, because I'm starving,
I agree.
and discuss, form the plan, spring it into action all at once. Maybe Henry goes in first, sits down, has some tea, gets all chatty, and then we come in right behind him. Hey, Mr. Elverton, how you doing? Oh, good to see you again, waitress.
Sure. But then how does that get us closer to finding? I am concerned about the spiders and the artifact.
Mm-hmm.
Those two things concern me. How do we get closer to finding those things?
What if you, with your very sneaky skills, go in the back way?
Also, what do we know about this artifact?
That would be fun.
I'm not afraid to ask pointed questions. Maybe they know something about the artifact that.
Yes. What do we know about the artifact?
It was
Do we
on
have a
its way
description?
to.
Go ahead.
My understanding is that, like I said, it was sent from Japan to the consulate in San Francisco, and then the consulate was sending it on to Chicago, and it was some sort of jade statue.
Right.
you know what the statue was of what?
Do we?
No, you did. That was not given in any
I
of
was,
the descriptions that any of you heard.
if anyone says it's a statue of a spider, I am gonna punch something.
Maybe that is our bluff.
Perhaps you're looking for the.
The jade spider does have a certain ring to it.
All right. Well,
Indeed.
I say
There
we
is
send him
one
in.
person who does know what was in it.
Mr.
Would
Brooks.
that'd be
Mr.
Brooks.
Brooks, the consulate.
Indeed, he did know.
Shall we go talk to him first? Or do you want to talk to the woman at the tea shop? I would like to talk to the woman at the tea shop. I would like to see if maybe having a fresh face can jostle some leads free.
I
So
agree.
you're going in yourself?
I think so.
I would like to see what I can find out in the back.
Okay, very well.
I am going to spend some time reading the copy of the book that Mr. Brooks had given us,
All right,
just so that I have a little bit more about to talk to him about.
Very well.
It gives us a reason to talk to him. I will actually have things to talk about with this book.
And I am going to have some lunch.
very well. Jackson, are you going with him to have lunch?
And I will get you a sandwich in a wrapped
will-
up to go for you.
Thank you.
Roland, I will accompany you. I
Excellent.
fear that I've breached topics
Very
that
well.
friends shouldn't, but I'm concerned about you.
Very well. We will begin with Henry. Henry, you enter the Falling Lotus Tea House. The exterior is somewhat done like a tea garden structure. Obviously, it's in the city, so they can only do so much. But inside, it is very, very much that open, bare, minimalist. If you are familiar with what a Japanese tea garden looks like, it's that. There are mats on the floor where you kneel down to have your tea, and there are several tables going, and people are having tea here and there. Some look like they're having a formal version of tea. Some are just having a more relaxed, non-ceremonial version of tea in different areas. And a young woman approaches you and says, "Can I help you? Would you like tea?"
I would indeed like tea. Yes, I enjoy tea quite a bit.
Would you like a full ceremony or a more casual experience?
Just casual is fine.
Oh, very well. Please follow me.
Just
She takes you over to a small table. Give me an observation roll real quick.
Oh, a mere 6.
It's hard to tell just based off of their general descriptions of what the server looked like, whether this is the same person or not. You have no idea. Their descriptions were very vague.
Mm-hmm.
She brings you a pot of tea and a cup.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry to make this awkward, but I have some questions about some business dealings of a discreet nature. I'm wondering if is the owner about, or perhaps someone who might be connected with that type of business?
Madam Komoti?
Yes.
Madam Komoti is in the back. She is busy at the moment preparing for a special tea ceremony. Can I tell her who is inquiring?
Yes. My name is Henry Alverton, and I work with a museum in Chicago that was expecting a delivery, and it did not arrive.
And this concerns my mistress How?
I feel like she might have heard something regarding how the the what happened to the contents of the delivery.
I don't see how a delivery to Chicago relates to our humble tea house.
It probably doesn't. I'm really looking for information on my friend who was responsible for the delivery, and just wondering if he had been seen here.
Oh, your friend's name?
Lin Chow.
Lin Chow.
I worked with him at the docks.
Chinese.
Yes.
Very well. I will consult Madame Komoti and see if she has time to meet with you. Please, in the meantime, enjoy your tea.
Thank you.
She disappears into the back. She comes back out a few minutes later and says, Madame Komoti is busy at the moment, but if you can either wait or return in about 2 hours, she does have some time, and she would be more than happy to discuss your missing friend. You say?
Mhm.
Very
Yes.
well. She would certainly meet with you in about 2 hours. You can either wait here or depart and return at your leisure.
I'll step out for a bit, but I'll return.
Oh, very well. That
Thank
will
you.
be
Thank you so
that'll
much.
be 50 cents, please.
Oh, I'm a man of the cloth. You don't need to. No, I'm kidding.
Thank you, sir. While this is happening, Ada, you are sneaking around the back?
Yep.
All right, very good. You get to the back of the building. There is a back door. That there is some rubbish, refuse bins back there. Looks like they haven't been emptied in a while.
Anything fun in there?
Very well. First of all, give me a roll for remaining undetected while you are doing your digging.
17.
Very well. And now, give me an observation roll as you move through.
14.
14. You're going through. It's a lot of refuse. There's some broken up crates and such. But one thing does catch your eye. There is some writing in Japanese on a fragment. It looks it's broken off, but then there is also English underneath, and you make out the word Chicago.
Pocket that.
It's big. It's like this. It's not pocketable. It's part of a plank.
I'm wearing a big dress with big pockets. I could put it under there, right? No? Okay. Cool. I want to just make a note of it. Is there any other interesting things to note about this fragment? It's a bit of what is it again?
It's a part of a shipping crate.
Part of a shipping crate. Okay.
There is Japanese
Cool.
writing upon it, and then there is also you can make out in the part that got broken off, Chicago.
Gonna log that away in my brain.
There's also some old straw and such. With your 14 roll, you would deduce that was part of the packaging inside the crate.
Okay. Anything else out here that I notice?
Not particularly, no.
Okay. Is the door open?
The door into the back? No, it is closed.
Are there windows?
Yes.
I would like to just take a peek-see. And if there's anything I could also hear.
All right. Give me another observation roll.
12.
You take a quick peek in. You don't want to look too long because you are concerned about being observed. It appears to be a kitchen. There are there's a stove, 2 stoves actually, with you can see there's kettles being heated upon them. There's 2 women dressed in traditional Japanese kimono style clothing who are tending to things. There's a small pantry. They are speaking. They're not speaking loud, and they are speaking in Japanese.
Okay.
You would characterize their speech as chit chat.
Is the kitchen sort of separated from where the door is, or is it just one big room?
No, the kitchen is that's the back door. It goes kitchen with a back door that opens out into the alleyway where you are.
Okie dokie. I am not gonna risk going in there because I'm fairly certain if I were to open the door and try and get in, they would see me. Is there
In all likelihood, yes.
Is there a cellar?
If there is, it is not accessible from where you are.
Okay, cool. Well, I think I have. Is there any other windows? Any other?
That's what you can see from the back of the building.
Okay. I think my work here is done.
Very good. Jackson, Weatherwax, while you are sitting with Roland discussing his moral lapses, give me a roll as you are going through that book. An observation roll. You, by the way, everyone, you do have helps. If you want them, you have a fair amount of helps at the moment. Let me get that for you.
Ooh.
Oh. Huh. All right.
Jackson, give me an observation roll. You may use one of those if you like.
Yes, I will use a help.
Very well.
Oh, I like this very much. That is an 18.
An 18.
Yes.
As you are paging through the book, he's got an entire section on Japanese folklore. And a name jumps out at you. The Jorogumo.
The Jorogumo.
Jorogumo.
Spell that one more time.
There it is.
Ah! You know, it's not. It's very for this book. It's very prose heavy. But the Jorogumo, my God,
There are many stories relating to the Jorogumo. Usually, they involve samurai and warriors who are seduced by a woman who turns out to be a spider.
Kiss of the Spider Woman.
You would think that would come up pretty early in your conversation.
You would think so.
It's not first date material.
No.
Isn't it?
It should be.
It certainly means talking about the weather.
Yes. I love long walks in the park too. By the way, I'm a spider woman.
Although I have been on dates where you try to say something original, you try to bring up the conversation, and boy howdy, does it. Yes, that sort of thing. It comes off very strange. I've seen my good friend Norton on a few of these dates, and he
you know, it comes up more often than you.
Have you met him? He is fascinating. He's a fascinating character. I really hope you get a chance to talk to him.
Oh, right.
Okay, well.
Listen, I have a very limited amount of knowledge about this time and this space. I've got that name. I'm gonna keep throwing him in. That's
Fair enough. So what's happening?
You have departed, as has Henry. I assume you all meet back up at the restaurant.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you share all the information which I have given to you individually, I assume?
Yes.
Yes.
Very well. Carry on.
Well, I have Roland. Yes. You raising your? What?
Is that my sandwich?
Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Here you go. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now
They put raspberry jam on a turkey sandwich. My heavens!
it's really good. You
very
should
good.
wait till you try this. It's so good. Now, what if? Very good sandwich. What if? Let's say, for the sake of argument, based on what we have all seen in the past, that this Jaru Gumo is real. All right. And the larger bite that we saw on the deceased's neck, on Paul Dayton's neck, was from her. Further, and hear me out, what if Madam is the Jaragumo?
Yeah. That.
Because you had in your discovery part of a shipping crate that said
Yes.
Chicago with Japanese
Yes.
writing on it. A little bit too big for you to carry out. So these spiders have come up. They have attacked us. As you already pointed out, Ms. Monahan, they seem to conveniently have evacuated the opium den before even maybe you yelled fire.
Before, yes. It was empty.
So
I do think this is more of a trap than I'm almost convinced now that this exactly was a trap.
Henry,
Yes.
how long was Madame Kumati going to be indisposed?
About 2 hours.
At this point, you've got about an hour.
Yeah.
Part of me just kind of wants to bust the door down and
Catch her.
in
Doing
the midst.
how far are we, Gloom Master from
No, I think you had it right.
yeah. How far are
One.
we from the marshal's office?
You are a good, probably half-mile away.
I could get there and back in 25 minutes, half an hour, my friends.
I also think it would be advantageous to at least alert Mr. Brooks about the possible location of his item that was on its way to Chicago, which apparently has not been there. That would be of interest to him, I would think.
We have an hour. I'm gonna go see if we can get a little bit more backup. And how about you go talk to Brooks?
That sounds fine.
Very well. We will start with Roland. Roland, you make it back to the marshal's office,
All right.
where Marshal Raymond Twitt is there.
Raymond.
He looks up and sighs. Roland,
I need a favor. Another one.
what is it that you want, Roland? I've done what I can for you. I'm dealing with a rampant fire that broke out last night
Very
in the red light district. You weren't in the red light district last night, were you?
Why would I have been? That is an accusation. Why would you think I would be? First of all, let's start there. Why would you think I would be?
Let me hear the words.
Not even important.
Let me hear the words out of your mouth. I want you to say to me that you were not in the red light district last night.
I would love to say that to you, but first I would love to know why you would think I was in the red light district.
I see. He leans back.
Anyway, listen, fine. I was in the red light district last night, all right?
He leans forward again. You were?
Yes, we're investigating.
Yes. What were you investigating? private citizen hussy?
There is no law against private citizens being able to investigate.
No, there is not, private citizen hussy. Tell me more.
Well, U.S. Marshal Twit,
Yes.
here is the thing. I'm reasonably certain that your investigation of missing and murdered dock workers is lining up with our investigation of missing businessmen.
Missing dock
Hey.
workers?
Murdered dock workers. Weren't you saying something about that?
Murdered dock workers, yes.
I think they might be involved with the same case, the same people. All I'm asking for is you send as many agents as you can spare, as many marshals as you can spare, down to the tea house near the consulate in about half an hour.
He looks around the empty office. Send all of my available men, eh?
All right, fine. You come down and you bring a few extra pistols.
Roland, we are friends. We've been through a lot together. I have a job and a responsibility to the people of San Francisco. Now, I understand that you think that there is some threat to the people of San Francisco at the Japanese tea house. The tea house, Roland. Now, given your statements and my physical limitations as to what I can and cannot do with the lack of personnel that I have, you want me to stop everything I'm doing and go to a Japanese tea house?
You're sitting in a chair. Get out of the chair, get out from behind the desk, and come on out and let us save some people. Your responsibility, as you say, sir, is to the people of San Francisco. This is involving the people of San Francisco. People died last night. No one had to.
Yes, people did die last night, Roland. What do you know about that?
Listen, more people are going to die unless you help me. I'm asking you, please.
Give me a, let's see, what would you use for your persuasion? I'll let you roll 3d6 to persuade him.
It's going to use a help.
Very well, I'm using a help as well.
Oh, so it's just it's loud.
Wow.
Ooh. 14.
Roland, I would like to help you. I really would. The best I can do for you is I will get some men together. I will come down to the tea house later on this evening and take a look around. That's what I can do.
We gotta go now. Twit. Raymond, we gotta go now.
Roland, I don't have anyone now. I'm going to have to go get them. They are all
You
out
need-
spread throughout the city.
Then
I
just
will-
come with me now. Come with me now. Put it in a telegraph call at a Western Union on the way.
I cannot do that, Roland. I will get some men. I will be by as soon as I can. But I do not know how long it will take for me to round up men. But I will be there when I get a couple of men together. All right?
All right. Thank you.
Very well. By the way, he rolled a 17.
Oh.
Very well. So that is what Roland has been doing. Roland, is there anything else you want to do while you are there before you head back?
I want to kick over something on the way out.
Kick over a trash can outside.
Yeah.
No littering, says Twit.
Twit, you twit!
Very well. Elsewise, Jackson, you were going to see Brooks. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is anyone going with Jackson to see Brooks?
I'll go.
All right, the three of you go. You arrive at the consulate. The gentleman, the young man, is still out front, recognizes you, and bustles you back into Charles Wolcott Brooks. Yes, there we go. Mr. Weatherwax, Madam Harmonia. And next you
Hello,
have
darling.
but you have not had the pleasure to meet. Your name, sir?
Mr. Henry Alverton.
Mr. Alverton. Yes. Very nice to meet you. You're friends of yours?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Oh, very good. Oh, what can I do for you?
This book.
Oh, yes. I had a chance to read some of it.
Yes. I'm going to say this is bordering on literature, my man. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
I as a reader as much as I am, not only is it very like factual, but also just what's really captured me, and frankly, I'm hoping for a further volumes on this topic, is some of the legendary mythical creatures.
Oh, yes, the folklore. I particularly found that enjoyable.
Yes. How familiar with? Is there more that you have planned for this? I do hope the answer is yes.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that once the Japanese government actually sends an official consulate over, I can question them more and maybe make a follow-up volume. I'm sure that there are plenty of children's fairy tales, much like our Grimm's fairy tales are for us. I'm sure they have the equivalent, and I would love to learn more of them and perhaps publish them.
You've researched them enough to leave some out, I imagine.
I've scratched the surface of their lore.
All right, but one in particular, I very
Yes.
much am interested in any more information you would have. The Jurogumo.
Oh yes, the Spider Woman. Yes.
And I go over, and is the door closed?
Behind you? No.
It is now.
Oh, you go over and close the door.
Yes, and I produce.
He immediately goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I know I get a little bit loud. That's very kind of you." Yes.
And I go close to him, and I look at him, and I have the drawing of the wounds that have been inflicted on.
Oh, those look nasty. What are those from?
In folklore, how is the Jurogumo killed?
Oh, in traditional manners, I suppose. Usually, most of the stories, a samurai cuts it in two or stabs it.
Does it have to be
any sort of thing?
Does it have to be a particular blade, or
would an axe suffice?
I mean, they're just essentially a giant spider in the folklore that can take on the form of a young lady. But as far as everything I can recall, they're just a big spider, really. I guess whatever would kill a spider, only bigger.
Wondrous. I don't have a lot of time. May we do you have any swords we might use?
Well, I'm terribly sorry. What?
I will ask again, and I will show you this drawing of wounds from a victim of something absolutely terrible. Mr. Brooks, there are things in this world that are unspeakable, things that we don't begin to understand, but a learned man like yourself, one with imagination and an open mind, can fathom that these stories must come from somewhere.
Are you implying that there's a real Jurogumo?
Tell me about your encounters at the Falling Lotus.
No, I hardly go there. I've stopped in on occasion, that's all. Why?
Now, you were having something shipped, were you not?
Oh yes, I do believe I mentioned that too, didn't I, last time?
Yes, it is not.
I've had some Japanese artwork being forwarded on to a colleague in Chicago.
It didn't make it there.
Well, I mean, I haven't gotten confirmation yet. But,
I'm telling you, this is your confirmation. It did not make it there.
Well, then what happened to it?
My associate Henry Alverton is friends with one of the couriers who has also gone missing. It's the box that it was contained in was last seen at the Falling Lotus. I need you to tell me everything you can about any interaction you've ever had there. Quickly.
I mean, they've only been open for about a month now, so I've not really had that much interaction with them.
When did this package come into town?
Oh, my package? I sent the package off. Just slightly over a month ago, I suppose. Yes.
Just over a month ago.
Yeah.
Can you describe the artifact again, and what was inside of it?
Oh, yes, of course. It was a lovely, beautiful. I think it was a 12th century, maybe 13th century jade
spider.
Statue. Oh, what's that?
Was it a spider?
No, it was a woman. It's a beautiful woman with a flowing kimono, and it was quite lovely. I picked it up when I was in Kyoto.
Is there something around me that's punchable?
Henry Alberton.
I punch him in the arm.
What was?
No. Don't worry about it.
What are you saying that somebody at the tea shop stole my jade statue that I was sending to Chicago?
Yes, we've stated that explicitly.
Good heavens! Well, then we should call the police and get them to go in and retrieve it, I suppose.
By all means, do so, sir.
Well, I will make a formal request for that tomorrow morning.
In the meantime, have you any swords, man?
You look behind him. There is a display case with a katana and a wakizashi. I mean, yes, but these are my artifacts.
Tell you what. Let me borrow it for a bit, and I'll clean it when I return it.
What are you talking about, man? These are priceless items. He turns and is gesturing at them. His back is to you. Yes, these are my swords. They're delightful.
Ada.
Me?
You've knocked men unconscious before, haven't you?
Yeah. Does he have a paperweight?
Yes.
Oh God.
Very well. You grab what appears to be a carved piece of granite that is in the form of what you would assume would be a stylized Buddha, and you crack him over the skull with the Buddha. Roll me 3d6. You do have helps if you like them.
No, I think I'll be
currently.
12.
No.
12? Caught completely by surprise, you crack him across the skull, and he drops like a sack of potatoes.
There's a good
I go up and I grab the swords.
Oh God! What? Okay.
And then
I make him comfortable.
Yes.
I also
him in a
want to
chair.
check that he's alive.
Yes. I'm writing out. Thank you for the swords. You're a real peach.
He's breathing. You know that much.
Cool. Okay.
He has a concussion, I'm sure.
Yeah, he'll just sleep it off. It'll be fine. Off we go.
I hide the swords in my dress.
On your way out, the secretary stands up and says, "Oh, well, yes. Do you know if Mr. Brooks needs anything else?"
A doctor,
No.
Right,
yes,
fine.
yes.
He's
He's
Well,
fine.
he
Don't
fainted.
worry about it.
He
It's
fainted.
great. He's
A doctor.
He fainted. He's fine.
Yeah.
I'm confused. What?
He's fainted. He's fine, but he
I'm
fainted.
gone.
We've propped
Fainted?
him up.
The secretary runs into the other room.
I
have
run
to go.
out.
I
me
locked
too.
the door and I leave.
Very well.
Yes, I've locked them in there, and I'm.
Alas, the lock is on the other side of the door.
Ugh.
Prop up a chair. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Underneath the-
And so you race out of the scene of your assault. Very well.
With
Um,
swords.
Oh my god.
With swords, 2 swords. In fact. You make your way back to the restaurant. I assume that's a block down from the tea shop. Was that your rally point?
Yes.
Yes.
Very well. You meet Roland there. Roland looking a little dejected.
I have swords.
All right.
I've missed all of you.
And I, you friend.
Ugh.
I will take a sword, my dear.
We're gonna get back up eventually.
Good thing we learned that you can kill the spider lady with regular, ordinary, normal weapons.
Yes.
Excellent. Then a gun should suffice.
And swords.
Goody.
I like swords.
What would
Remind
you
you
like-
of axes.
The hour has passed. What would you like to do?
Do you think I should go in and talk to her? Try to stir up the hornet's spider's nest,
Mm-hmm.
if you will?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, if something goes wrong, we should have a signal.
How about Henry screaming bloody murder?
That's a pretty good signal.
Wait 3 minutes and then assume something has gone wrong.
Oh, that works too.
Delightful.
Very well. How are you going? It's about 5:30 in the afternoon now. How would you like to approach this?
I will stroll in casually, find the same server I spoke to before.
All right.
And,
I want to be at the back.
ask if the lady of the establishment is available.
Very well. So that is what Henry is doing. Ada, you are going around to the back kitchen door.
Mhm.
You have the wakizashi, the short
Yes.
sword.
Yes.
And Jackson, you grab the katana. Is this correct?
Yes.
And Roland, you have a pistol.
I do.
Where are you, Roland, and you, Jackson, during this?
I'm gonna go around back with Ada.
Very well. You're around back with Ada. Jackson, what are you doing?
I'll stand out. Well, no, I'm going around the back as well. I think that's a good.
Very well. The three of you go around to the back. Henry, you walk in, no problem at all, and there's the servers there. There are 2 or 3 other customers currently in the establishment. It seems to be winding down for the evening, and the same server is there. She sees you come in and says, "Oh yes, Mr.
Alverton.
Alverton, yes. You wanted to speak to Madam."
Yes, please.
Very well. Can I offer you some tea first?
That's not necessary, thank you.
Oh, very well. If you would like to follow me, I'll take you to her office.
Thank you.
You go in, so that as you enter, there's the main serving area. Then there's an area beyond, which apparently are offices, an office or 2, and stairs that lead up to the upstairs, assumingly. And then there's a kitchen behind that. So you are in the middle of the building, and you are on the ground floor. And the server opens a door and gestures inside. Sitting at a desk is a very statuesque woman in a full ceremonial kimono, makeup, full ceremonial makeup, and she is washing her hands with what appears to be a damp rag that is also steaming a little bit. It's a steamed rag. She is washing her hands. And she looks up and says, "Ah, Mr. Alverton, is it? I've just finished up my most recent tea ceremony. Please, please have a seat. And she kind of half stands and gestures to the seat and then sits back down herself.
I walk in and I stand behind the chair. I don't actually sit down.
Oh, very well. And now, what can I do for you?
Madam Kamoti, thank you for seeing me.
Yes.
Forgive my directness, but I will cut to the chase immediately. I represent some business partners in Chicago. They were expecting a shipment of Japanese art from the Japanese consulate here, and it has gone missing. A friend of mine has gone missing along with it, and I have it on authority and understand that sometimes these type of objects move through your establishment. My associates in Chicago are prepared to pay a very large sum of money to have this item returned.
She pauses for a moment. She thinks. She says, if this item should happen to have found its way into my storeroom by some strange happenstance, I could certainly be negotiated to return it to where it was from for a small finder's fee, of course. We can check and see the storeroom itself. And if your item is there, I would certainly love to enter into negotiations. I assume you have a banker's check?
I can arrange with one within the hour.
Excellent. Well, shall we? She stands and gestures towards the door.
Yes.
Very well.
Has it been 3 minutes yet?
About now, it's been about 3 minutes.
We get a close up of Henry Alverston's face, and there is just a bead of sweat rolling down his face.
I think we go in.
She gestures around the staircase. There's a staircase behind it that goes down into the basement. And she goes, please, if you like, I'll go first and light the lamp. And she begins to descend the stairs and lights a lamp.
Very good. And I will follow her. I'm walking slower than her. It's continually slowing down as she moves, hopefully, ahead of me.
She gets down into the storeroom and has lit the lantern. She's holding it up, and you can see that there are a number of storage crates and boxes all throughout the room. And she says, do you have any sort of description of this item?
A jade statue of a woman.
A jade
Perhaps.
Statue of a woman.
Perhaps 12th century, 13th century.
I don't believe I've seen one, but then again, the box might not be opened. You say it was addressed to Chicago, and she begins looking around on the crates, and so implies that you do the same. She's looking around, reading the labels. If there's something in Japanese, please, I will translate it for you.
Thank you. Walk about halfway down the stairs, and I am looking for anything out in the open that might be unusual or relevant.
Give me a roll real quick.
I will use a help for that too.
For an observationals.
I'm keeping her in the corner of my eye at all times too. Ugh.
That high, huh?
5.
Nothing appears out of place at all. Ada, Roland, and Jackson, what are you doing?
It has been 3 minutes. I would like to
It
go
goes you
in.
to 5 at this point, but yes.
Great.
Let's go.
When you say let's go, what are you doing?
I would like to enter the back of the building.
There's a door.
There is a door. I want to do it not entirely conspicuously.
Are you trying to pick a lock and open the door, is what you're telling me?
Yeah.
All right. Roll me your ne'er-do-well stat, and we will see.
15.
15. It takes you about 30 seconds, but you do manage to click and unlock the door. It opens inward,
Mm-hmm.
and the door is open.
Great. Do I see anything immediately amiss?
There's the kitchen.
Great. I walk through the kitchen.
As you walk in, you step on what appears to be a broken teacup that is inside the door. It makes a loud cracking noise. And now is the time when I need everyone to roll initiative.
That teacup had some powerful friends.
10.
12.
I'm sorry, what do you have, Jackson?
12.
Jackson has a 12. Very well. Roland, what do you have?
13.
13. And Henry?
A 10.
10, as well as Ada.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ada, what's your dexterity modifier to see who goes first between you and Henry?
Henry goes first.
Because it's the 18-somethings.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that happens is the loud cracking sound of the porcelain breaking resounds like a gunshot in the kitchen off of the floors and walls. And at that moment, through the door that leads into the main part, rush two women wielding short Japanese swords. And they immediately attack. So one, Ada went in first, and then I assume followed by Roland. So Ada and Roland, I need both of you to roll a defensive roll as you are attacked by sword-wielding, kimono-wearing women.
I'm going to use a help.
That old chestnut.
That old chestnut, indeed.
All right. I rolled a 12.
Very well.
Hold on. I'm doing math. 11.
11.
Oh, man.
Roland, you managed to sidestep the blow. Ada, you are hit in the left shoulder by a razor-sharp wakizashi, carving a line down your left bicep, separating skin and muscle almost to the bone, and you take 4 points of damage from this attack.
Okie dokie.
Roland, the time is now yours.
I take aim. I fire.
You shoot at the one who just attacked you?
I shoot at the one who just... How close is she to me?
Very. They're in hand-to-hand combat range.
Oh, all right. Yeah, in that case, yeah. I'm
Go
close
ahead.
to basically get an abdomen shot.
All right, roll your...
Using a help.
Very well.
Oh, boy. 18.
The deafening thunder of his pistol echoes even louder than the breaking of the porcelain cup in the room as the bullet strikes her in the breastbone. A sickening crunch can be heard underneath the report of the weapon. She crumples like a rag doll, blood spewing over her chest as she falls motionless and very dead to the ground. Jackson.
I take a swing at the other one.
Very
and I will
well.
be using a help.
Very well.
I have taken the sword out of the sheath.
I assumed.
Oh, I'm very happy already. Oh, that is a 16.
A 16. You're not used to martial weapons of this sort.
I am not.
However, notwithstanding, your blade buries in her collarbone on the right side of her neck. A gout of blood spouts and splashes over your face. She gurgles briefly for a moment. It takes a bit of effort to wrench the blade. It is embedded in the bone, but you manage to pull it free as she slumps to the ground, also dead. Ada.
I would like to find something to quickly bandage my arm.
There are towels, tea towels, no less, all about.
Delightful.
I'll wrap you up.
Roland, you are not acting yet. So
Okay.
Ada, your action is to grab something and attempt to
And-
wrap it around your arm.
Yep.
Very well. Roll me 2d6.
Seven.
All right, you've tied it around your arm. You have no idea if it's effective in any way, shape, or form.
Great.
Henry, you hear something going on upstairs, including a gunshot and 2 thunks onto the floor, as well as what you would assume is a cry of pain.
I'm looking at her. Does she? What is her reaction to this?
Initiative-wise, she hasn't gone yet.
Okay. I'm gonna sort of be poised on the stairs, ready to run up and shut the door behind me, while waiting to see how she reacts. Are there exterior windows in this basement, or is this entirely enclosed?
Very small, like little partial windows. There are 2 of them,
Okay.
but they are smaller than man-sized.
Okay.
You would a full-grown adult would not be able to slip through them.
Yeah, but a spider might. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna hold.
You're going to hold.
Yeah.
Very well. Madam Kumoti turns around slowly and says, "Oh, now they've spoiled my fun." And as she says that, extra limbs sprout out from her lower abdomen onto the ground.
No, they don't.
And she
I disagree.
raises up about a foot taller than she normally would be. She puts the lantern down on the crates next to her and lunges toward you.
I'd prefer she didn't.
Henry,
Yes.
she is lunging at you. You had a held action. What would you like to do?
Can I? If I'm on the stairs, I imagine she's coming up the stairs. Can I
Yes, she is.
jump sideways off the stairs?
Yes, you most certainly may.
I'm gonna do that.
Roll 3d6 just to jump off without breaking an ankle.
He does have experience jumping. We have established that. That is
We have established that,
Expert jumper. Expert jumper.
yeah. Perfect. Lots of practice.
We're not rolling great tonight. 7.
7.
Yeah.
Good news.
What did
you
your
don't
other
break
2
an
dice
ankle.
say?
You don't break an ankle. However, you do fall onto your side. You're uninjured, but you are now prone. However, she goes halfway up the stairs before she realizes that you have gone down, and she turns. She's now between you and the exit.
Mm-hmm.
With that, Roland, You are
Can I-
still upstairs.
Can I free action panic incomprehensibly?
Yes, you may gibber incomprehensibly.
Okay.
Very well.
Uh,
As a free action, yes.
Thank you.
Roland.
I go to her arm.
All right. She has basically just slapped a towel on there. She has no idea what she's doing.
All right. I tell her, press right here. I grab another towel and I start to.
All right. Give me a doctor roll, please.
All right.
You are a corpsman.
Holy smoke! 20.
You staunched the bleeding excellently without cutting off circulation to her lower arm. You have minimal use of your left hand, Ada, but as long as you don't overexert that arm, you seem to be okay.
All I need is the right one. Stabby,
Jackson,
stabby,
what do you do?
stabby, stabby.
Have I heard anything inside here?
You
Other than
heard you might have heard a thumping from down below you somewhere. There's another door in the back of the kitchen that goes into the rest of the tea house.
I take a defensive stance with the sword, and
Mhm.
I'm going from I'm trying to find out where I heard the noise, and I yell for Henry.
All right. You shout for Henry, and you are looking around. The only egress from this kitchen is where you came in from the outside, and then there's a door that goes interior, but it is closed currently. Jackson screams for Henry. Ada.
I have my knifey guy.
Is that
I
the
want-
word for sword now?
It is
My knifey guy.
my knifey guy.
It's spelled different,
In
Yeah.
the original Japanese, I
Yeah.
am.
I want to go through the door.
Very well. The door is not locked, and you manage to open it readily. There's a small hallway. There are stairs that go both up and down to your left, and an office to the right, the door of which is open.
May I make a observation check?
Yes, please do.
Great. I want to see if there's any indication where Henry is. 11.
By the sound of what you heard a little bit ago, you would say he is downstairs.
Great.
You managed to get to the top of the stairs in
Okay.
your action. If that's where you want to go.
That's where I want to go.
Very good. As you get to the top of the stairs, you see the back of a woman halfway down the stairs with the abdomen and legs of a gigantic Joro spider. Henry, you're on the ground. This thing is moving over you on the stairs.
She's on the stairs looking down at me.
Yes.
Okay. I pull myself to my feet, and I'm looking around for anything I can grab to defend myself.
Give me a quick roll for looking around.
Another 7.
You see a crowbar not far away,
Mm-hmm.
on top of one of the crates.
All right, I will grab the crowbar and ready to strike if she lunges at me.
You get up, you manage to grab the crowbar and strike a stance.
And I say, Madam Kamoti, I have been at the gates of hell and Devil's Den itself. I am not afraid of you.
She smiles and says, "You will be," and lunges at you. I'm using a help.
Can I swing?
You can roll defensive first.
All right. We'll use the help for that. Okay. All right. 13.
Her human arms wrap around you while her spider legs, lift her body up as she jumps down, grabs you. She lifts up to her full height, and she bites you on the neck.
Called it.
Ow.
Begin by taking 3 points of damage from the bite.
Okay.
More to follow.
Mm.
Roland, you hear Henry downstairs basically yell his defiance.
So, Ada had run to the stairs. I run after her, and is Ada on the stairs, at the top of the stairs? What?
Ada is at the top of the stairs, looking down.
All right. I just full on run down the stairs.
As you hit the bottom of the stairs, you see Henry in the grasp of this spider woman, suspended a foot or two off the floor. The woman's face next to his neck, her lower part of her is a giant Joro spider. The Komodo still falling over parts of her as she's holding him in the air. So that is your action. You have got there. You are almost next to her. Jackson.
I'm following Roland, sword out, and
very good. You hit the bottom of the stairs too, and you see what I have described. That is your action to get down there. You are now next to the spider woman as well. Ada, you are at the top of the stairs. You can actually get down there and attack.
Yep. With it, could I possibly jump from the stairs onto her abdomen?
You may attempt to do so, yes. Are you attempting to lead with the sword, I assume?
Absolutely, I am.
Very well. Keep in mind you have helps.
And I'm going to use them.
Can you use a couple at a time?
You can use several if you want. You have 2.
Can I create another Twitch account and give myself helps?
I am, in fact, so I do want to use 2 helps for this. So I roll. Wait,
Very
5
well.
dice total? Is that?
You roll 5 dice and take the 3 highest.
Yep. Okay.
I'd go on
18.
That.
18. You land on her back, and your blade awkwardly strikes her, but does not drive in. But you do a little bit of damage to her in the process. And she staggers under your added weight on her abdomen. And let's see.
And while I do this, I just...
Henry to the ground.
Oh. Okay, good.
Henry lands with a thud.
Ow.
Henry, you land on the ground. Poof. There's a burning sensation from where she bit you in the neck. Glancing up, you can see that inside her mouth, where her canines would be, look almost like 2 little paps with fangs from a spider's maw. They are dripping with a green viscous fluid. You feel a burning in your neck. Roll me 3d6 as the venom courses through you.
This seems like a good time to use a help.
Unless you're determining damage.
All right. What is that? 14.
It burns and you feel a little woozy, but as of now, nothing further has happened. What would you like to do? You have a crowbar in your hand.
Yeah. You're kind of clutching at his neck, like, in pain. Lash out with a crowbar just to give her a whack.
All right, attack away.
I swapped out from the previous adventure. I swapped out one of my traits for dock worker. Can I use
So
dock
roll
worker?
3. Yes, that is appropriate.
14 again.
You connect with one of her limbs, doing some damage to her as well. She staggers backward further. Her turn. She slams her back against the staircase to dislodge you, Ada. So you may roll defensively. I am using a help. Sir David Percival.
12.
She slams you into it, knocking the wind out of you, doing 2 points of damage to you, and you fall to the ground.
Cool.
Roland.
I shoot.
Very well. Roll.
Do I have a help left?
You do. You have 2.
All right. I'm going to use one of them.
Oh. Did not notice that I got to help.
Yes, you just got another one, Ada.
13.
13. The shot misses as the Spider Woman, now aware of all of the threats around her, scuttles to the side half a step, and your shot goes wide. Jackson.
As she's scuttling around, I am going to use a help, and I'm going to swing at those many legs that
Very
are
well.
scuttering around. And I would argue that I have a better chance to hit them as there are more of them, statistically speaking.
Yes.
That's a solid 15, my friends.
You sever one of her limbs. One of her legs lands on the ground, black ichor dripping out from the stump by her abdomen. She screams in rage and pain. And you had a 15.
Mm-hmm.
All right. She's down to that then.
Only
Very well.
9 more to go.
And Ada, you are on the ground.
I want to get up as fast as I can.
All right. You are on your feet.
Where is she in relation to me?
She's very large. She's very close to you.
I'm just going to try and stab. Just stab away.
All right. Very well. Go ahead.
Oh, hold on. 13?
You miss. Furthermore, roll me a 3d6.
14.
Your arm hurts, but you don't think you tore it back open.
Okay.
But you certainly exerted yourself. Henry. Henry, roll me for your fortitude. If we were using a different system, roll that again, please. If you will.
All right. 9.
You start to break out in a sweat, but otherwise you are still functional.
Okay.
But go ahead and take your action then.
Swing with the crowbar again.
All right.
And that's a 10.
She nimbly ducks to the side.
And right into Ada's sword.
Yes. Let's see. Which one of you does she feel is the more threatening? She clearly hates Ada. By random die roll, she absolutely hates Ada, and so attacks her. Ada, roll a defensive maneuver.
I'm using a help.
Very well.
16.
One of her legs goes to spear you, and you dodge out of the way. It funks into the wall and quickly jerks back out, missing you by a hair's breadth, as she rolled one less than you. Roland.
I shoot again.
Yes, very good.
I'm using my final help.
Very well.
Oh! 17.
The bullet strikes home into her abdomen. A large gout of that same blackish ichor comes out of it, and does a fair amount of damage to her. She staggers backward, a slight panic look coming into her eyes. Jackson.
I'm using my final help, and I'm going to try to stop the bleeding with the tip of my sword.
Very good. It's a known remedy.
Anticoagulant.
It's a known
Anticoagulant sword.
Yeah.
16.
16. You sever another limb, causing her to fall to.
No, I'm stabbing her in the abdomen with the.
Oh, you're stabbing the abdomen.
Yes. Where the bullet went in, I'm sticking the sword in.
You get close, but it does cause her to stagger back and.
But did you hear that cool thing that I said?
Yes, it stopped the bleeding. She regains 2 hit points.
Stop talking.
Jackson, you fool!
Ada.
Is she allergic to swords?
I'm assuming that she's a bit lower now.
Yes.
Where am I in relation to her lady body?
You are to the right of it.
I want to close distance and try to stab her through the neck.
Very well. Go ahead.
Am I out of helps?
You are out of helps at the moment. Only Henry has one left.
Okay. That is going to be a 14. Yep.
You do, in fact, stab her in the neck. Her eyes go wide. Her mouth stretches wide. You can see the paps of the fangs of a spider maneuvering wildly. The legs begin to twitch. She falls to the ground, twitches violently for a few moments, and then goes still. Henry, roll again. As the poison continues, the venom rather, continues in your bloodstream.
I don't feel too good, guys.
You have 1 help left.
I'll use it. 14.
You do not feel well, but you still have full possession of your faculties and your limbs. And with that, we are out of combat. The Spider Woman lies dead at your feet.
I say we all take a vacation soon.
I'm over to Henry and just helping in whatever ways that I can.
Where did she come from? Was she the statue? Was she following the statue?
Where is the statue?
I think she might have been it, but I feel like, Roland, do you want to take a look at this?
Yeah, perhaps, and then Ada, perhaps you and I will go through this establishment to see if we can't find anything.
Sure.
Yeah. Also, Roland, you did say the police are on their way?
It's supposed to be. The marshals are coming.
Well, then perhaps we should stay down here, or just out of the way of police who come across a couple of citizens carrying swords with 2 dead bodies as we go through things. Perhaps timing. There might be time for that later. Perhaps.
What is this body doing? Is it still just? Is she untransformed? Is she still a Spider Woman? Is she still?
Yeah, as you look at the Spider Woman and her body, You can see that she has not transformed back into a normal woman. This is apparently her form, but it is beginning to putrefy before your eyes.
I think we should get the heck out of Dodge. I don't even want to be here when the marshals show up.
I think
That
that's
might
wise.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed.
How are you exiting the building?
Quickly.
Up the building, out the back.
Out the back?
Yes.
Very well. As you are exiting out the back, you can hear somebody calling from the front of the building. Roland, you recognize the voice of Marshal Twit saying, "Hello? Hello, is anybody in there? We're coming in."
I'll stay.
Well, you're outside the building now. In the
Oh,
back.
no. I'll go back in.
You go back in? All
I'll
right.
go back in.
Ada is piecing out, it seems.
I'm also would like to get me and Henry to a doctor, if we can.
Yes.
Get back to St. Mary's.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go, I take Roland's hand and I just give him a knowing nod and.
Very well. Ada, as you're leaving, you see that bit of crate. It's still in the rubbish pile that you couldn't sneak away with before. That has the Japanese writing and then Chicago on it. I didn't know if you wanted to do anything about that.
Nope.
No? All right, very good.
There.
Ada, Henry, and Jackson make their way to St. Mary's. At St. Mary's, they manage to dress your various wounds. Sister
On our way there,
Philomena,
real quick, on the way there, I have found a relatively safe and inconspicuous spot to hide the swords.
is your intention to come back for them at another time?
Yes.
All right. You find a storm drain that is loose that you can slide them in underneath.
I do so.
Very well. And so you do manage to get to St. Mary's. Sister Philomena and Teresa ask surprisingly few questions as they treat your injuries. They don't seem to be overly inclined to press the issue. Meanwhile, back at the Falling Lotus, Roland enters inside. What are you doing once you're inside?
I called a Twit.
Twit comes into the back. Where is your gun?
In the back in the holster.
All right, your gun is back in the holster. Okay.
Yeah.
Roland Twit enters. Raymond Twit enters. Roland, and then he looks down and sees the two dead women at your feet.
Yes.
And he has two deputies that are behind him. One armed with a shotgun, one with a pistol. Roland, what's going on here?
A lot. You want to go down to the basement first?
Roland, he reaches his hand toward his pistol and slowly draws it. Roland, there's something in the basement.
There was, and now it's dead.
He puts his other hand on the weapon and has it pointed at you, though his finger is not yet on the trigger. He says, "Lead the way."
I do. My hands are up in the air.
All right. Down at the bottom of the stairs, there is a sticky pile of black goo. It is sizzling.
That was it.
That was what?
A nightmare.
Roland, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to have to place you under arrest until we can get this all sorted out.
I understand.
He reaches with his left hand, pulls out a pair of shackles, and tosses them to you. You know how these work.
Put them on myself.
And he leads you back to the station. Now, a bit of epilogue. Henry, you seem no worse besides the initial damage from the bite. The sisters say that your strong, hardy constitution from working down at the docks apparently fended off the worst of the effects. Ada, your arm is stitched back up. You will probably never have full strength in that arm again, but you'd also no longer have the concern of it being torn back open once more. Jackson, you are able to go back and retrieve the swords.
I bring them to, as promised, back to Mr. Brooks. And
is anybody going with him when he goes back to Mr. Brooks? Ada says no. Henry?
Yeah, I'll go with him if you'll have me.
Very well. Henry and Jackson, you go back to Mr. Brooks to return the swords?
Yep.
I've also brought purchased a very expensive bottle of sake.
Very well. You arrive. Mr. Brooks is not there. He's apparently in hospital.
Oh, well, this makes things easier. I just leave the bottle. I'll write a note. Dear Brooksy, sorry about the old
Noggin.
Headache.
We call it a Scotch. We call it a Scottish rental. And I return the items and I say, when you come to, if you can ever forgive us, I have the most amazing story that you will have ever heard.
Very well.
Apologies. Warmest regards.
We will leave that there. Roland, you are questioned at length by Twit. Are you telling him the truth of what happened, or are you creating something else?
Creating something else.
Very well. Give me in brief what you are telling him.
We got a tip about some smuggling with opium dealers, and they were using the tea house as a front. I alone was attacked by the women who were found dead in the kitchen. Dispatched one with my gun, the other used her own sword against her, and then went around. Did not get the chance to find what I was looking for in the basement when Twit arrived.
Very well. Roland, you go to trial for murder. You are exonerated only because the jury cannot seem to reach a consensus. There's a hung jury that they cannot. There's so many holes in your story that your story doesn't make sense. What happened doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense. And the jury can make neither heads nor tails of it. During the trial, at one point you look back and you see that there in the back in the gallery, in the spectator section, there's a nondescript man in a gray suit, gray around the temples. It's Gordon Pym. He catches your eye briefly for a moment, nods, and then leaves. There's a hung jury. You are eventually freed. Twit will not speak to you. You have a feeling that that bridge is very burned. And furthermore, people are keeping a very close eye on you now from here on out. And as Roland manages to make his way out of the courthouse, he manages to meet up with Henry, Ada, Jackson. He stopped for a drink at a bar and a bite to eat while they think about their good fortune of surviving yet another encounter with the unknown, the guilt they have for the innocents that have died, the tortured knowledge that there is something like this that was here. And as they sit there, the camera pans away and pans over to the ruined husk of the opium den, where 4 buildings lay in shattered ruins, charred charcoal, and out from a collapsed beam that is scorched and all but powder, a spider climbs out and skitters off into the alleyways. And that, friends, is our game here tonight, Gothic Horror Gaming. Thank you all for joining us for this, our most recent session. It's been very delightful. Let us go around and I will say that we might see these characters again, depending on everyone's schedule. We'll see what we can do. But in the meantime, let's go around and meet our players and find out what they are doing in real life. So let us start with Roland Hussey. Roland.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Kostelik. I am sometimes your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare at Renaissance Fairs. In fact, that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be at the Oklahoma Renaissance Festival for their final week and the first weekend of June. Also, as you can see right there, my new album, Those Midsummer Nights Shakespeare Summertime Study Guide, is available on Bandcamp, shakespeareapproves.bandcamp.com. It's very silly. It also features Jim Hancock, Lady Prudence, and Matt Young of Rover's Way. And as you can see, there we go. Scrolling across the bottom of the screen. We have 2 more weekends of the Scarborough Renaissance Festival where I'm entertainment director, and it's a lot of fun. 5 more days to go. Memorial Day Monday, last one.
And Severe Percival is asking what you're doing June 10th and 11th. Are you performing anywhere then?
June 10th and 11th. I don't think I am. Oh, no, yeah. June 10th and 11th, I'm pretty sure I'm doing a picnic.
Very good. Fair enough. Ada Monahan.
Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Hauser. I'm a member of Chase Treasure, and you can find me this weekend at the Southern Indiana Renaissance Festival, May 20th and 21st. We're also doing a Ladies Unlaced this Friday, if you want to come check it out. I also have a new Instagram called Rune Away with Me, Katie, where I do rune readings and intuitive readings as well. So that's me.
Very good. We also have Jackson Weatherwax.
Hey, everybody. I'm Steve O'Dockerson. Says so right here. Look at that. That's my name. I'm going to be at the Sterling Renaissance Festival. You can come and see me there. I will be Royston Badgernoose, Sheriff of Warwick. And until then, I'm just kind of hanging out, making hot sauce, growing peppers. That's it.
And they can find your Hob the Troll.
Oh, yeah.
Your alter ego.
If you want to listen to it, that's great. It's fine. I'm trying a different sell. I've been talking about it for a minute. Not a lot of hits. I'm kind of I'm looking accusatory at the Twitch stream friends. You guys all, come on, you could. So I'm trying to soft sell and a little passive aggressive because it's fine.
Oh, very good.
It's fine.
Passive aggressive suits you.
Yeah. I don't need validation. Come on.
You're Gen X, baby.
We also have Henry Alverton.
Hi, I'm Ryan Gelotti. I am one half of the Buckle and Swash comedy sword fighting show.
With your
And
wife, yeah.
yes. And we will be performing for the next 2 weekends at the Tennessee Renaissance Festival, including Memorial Day Monday. And then in August and October, although we'll just be there the first 5 weeks of the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair first. So that's August 19th, I think we open. And then for 5 weekends, we'll be at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, sword fighting.
Indeed, we will. And I'm the Glue Master, Tom Zadoyko, on the other half of that. I'm in Tennessee right now. In fact, I'm broadcasting to you from Tennessee as we speak. And
I thought you felt like you were an hour behind.
I am an hour behind everyone. And then
The
we'll
land of Lincoln.
Yes, that's right. Land of Lincoln. Tennessee, land of Lincoln. Yeah, they loved him here, didn't they?
The city of 1,000 lights.
That's right. We also have Handler Z and I. We have our own Patreon, Quill and Quote. She writes stories. I narrate them. Our patrons get these stories in advance of us, then coalescing them into books. And our most recent and our first one is so our first book is called Dare. It is available on Amazon as a paperback, as a Kindle form, or as an audiobook. You can check out our copy of Dare. It's a collection of short fiction and poetry written by Handler Z, Melissa Lee, and narrated by myself if you get it on Audible. So please check that out. Also want to thank our other sponsors, 3D2U.org, doing 3D printing of all sorts of gaming supplements, as well as wood burning of various things as well. Dice towers, dice trays, journals, all sorts of things for your gaming needs. 3D2U.org. And of course, our regular sponsors, which is rentadventures.com. Normally they do tours, often through Europe, being guided by Renaissance Fair performers who are fluent in the language. So if you go to Italy, Paolo Garbanzo will take you around, and he's fluent in Italian. He will help you out. But we're doing a D&D 5e tour in New Orleans, December 5th through the 9th, 2023. Come on down, play D&D, get some tours of this amazing city, and it culminates in a visit to the Louisiana Renaissance Fair, where many of us tend to be performing. So I know the top row that you see here, we will all be there. Myself, Dan, and Katie will all be performing at the Louisiana Renaissance Fair, so be sure to check that out. Yes, and indeed, for those of you who are curious, my wife is in fact pregnant. She is due September 28th, so I'll be performing at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, so there's a good chance it'll happen while I'm performing. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how things go. I might have to suddenly run away from the stage and go, I'll see you guys later, bye.
Having a baby!
Baby, bye. Hopefully the child has the good sense to wait to be born on a weekday. We will see. Beyond that, friends, thank you so much for joining us. Next time around, Handler Z is working up a new story, a new plot, a Delta Green game, if you will. Ooh. So hopefully we'll have more information for that. Check us out on the Discord, on the Facebook, and here on Twitch. We'll hopefully be able to post it as well. Yes, we are on Discord, so feel free to please come and check us out there. We'll post announcements of that as well as on our Facebook page. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a lovely evening.
Mwah.